Ukraine crisis, last chance for peace, says Hollande. A peace plan drawn up by France and Germany is one of the last chances to end the conflict in East Ukraine, French leader Francois Hollande says. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said it was unclear if the plan would succeed, but it was definitely worth trying. Mr. Hollande said the plan would include a demilitarized zone of 50 to 70 kilometers, 31 to 44 miles, around the current front line. The leaders are attempting to end the fighting in Ukraine between government troops and pro-Russia rebels. Russia is accused of arming pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine, claims it denies. Mr. Hollande and Ms. Merkel are due to discuss the peace plan with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian leader Petro Poroshenko by telephone on Sunday. Few details have emerged, but the plan is thought to be an attempt to revive a failed ceasefire deal signed in Minsk, in Belarus, in September. Since then, the rebels have seized more ground, raising alarm in Kiev and among Ukraine's backers. The UN says fighting has left nearly 5,400 people dead since April, when the rebels seized a big swathe of the Luhansk and Donetsk regions following Russia's annexation of Crimea. A woman and a child looked through a bus window before leaving as people flee the conflict in Debaltsev, eastern Ukraine, February 6. Intense fighting in the strategic town of Debaltsev has forced many to flee their homes. Servicemen of Volunteers Battalion Azov rest inside of Armored Personnel Carrier, APC, during their military training near Mariupol of Donetsk area, Ukraine, February 6, 2015. The U.S. is considering providing the Ukrainian forces with defensive weapons. Mr. Hollande and Ms. Merkel visited Kiev and Moscow earlier this week, in what appeared to be a speedily arranged visit to discuss the peace proposal. Diplomatic talks have been continuing at an international security conference in the German city of Munich, where Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said he sincerely hoped the latest peace plan would produce results. Ms. Merkel told the conference that while there was no guarantee diplomacy would succeed, it was essential to try. "I believe we owe that much to those who are affected in Ukraine," she said. Mr. Hollande told French TV that eastern Ukrainian regions would need extensive autonomy. "These people have gone to war," he said. "It will be difficult to make them share a common life." Pro-Russian rebels walk past a destroyed building in the town of Volodyrsk, Ukraine, February 6, 2015. Rebels say they have captured the town of Volodyrsk in Donetsk. The U.S. is considering pleas to send weapons to Ukraine, but Ms. Merkel said she could not imagine any situation in which improved equipment for the Ukrainian army leads to President Putin being so impressed that he believes he will lose militarily. The statement put her in opposition to NATO's top military commander, U.S. Air Force General Philip Breedlove, who told reporters that Western allies should not preclude out of hand the possibility of the military option. Line. Analysis, Jonathan Marcus, BBC News, Munich. The escalating winter war in Ukraine provides a grim backdrop to the talks in Munich. Behind the scenes here there have been serious efforts to try to breathe life into the peace process. But in public nobody was pulling any punches. U.S. Vice President Joe Biden made clear Washington's distrust of the Russians and its determination to allow Ukraine to defend itself. Could that mean giving it weapons? That's the way U.S. thinking seems to be going, to the horror of most of its European allies. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel for one spoke out passionately against such a move. But there's really no new peace plan in the offing, only a revamp of the old one that was never implemented, the Minsk Agreement of last year. If diplomacy fails and President Barack Obama goes ahead with arms deliveries to Ukraine, it may not only divide NATO, but provoke an even more aggressive Russian response.